Good morning and welcome back to the ranch. Today I'm going to give a brief tour of my new blacksmithing tool cart. This was inspired by a Facebook post by the painter and the blacksmith, I believe. He was prepping a similar cart for a friend to use at, I think it was the Canadian gathering. And he was, explaining the benefits of having a cart with the various hammers and tongs and top tools and everything on it. I used, I think it was an old welding cart for the small bottles, and he had quite a bit of stuff on it. Anyways, I'm one to get inspired by useful ideas. And that idea, combined with the fact that I had just acquired some scrap metal off of Facebook Marketplace. It was a curbside deal, free, come pick it up, first come, first serve kind of thing. And the brace and the upright were already welded together with this piece of angle on it. I'm not sure what it was, but the upright was like 8 foot long, and I got several of those in just for going by and picking them up. The angle was also quite a bit longer. I forget which direction it went. I think it went backwards there, but I cut those off, and they had become the front rail and the back rail of the base here. So basically, that material was free, and combining that, knowing I had that stuff when I saw the Facebook post, kind of inspired me. The big inspiration for me though was it fit a lot of the rules that I've kind of made for myself when it comes to shop organization. I mean, I know you look at my shop and like, okay, it's not terribly organized, but there is a flow to it, and it works for me, and I'm able to kind of keep a lot of stuff in here that I wouldn't ordinarily be able to keep if I weren't quite as organized. But the big one is first order retrievability. That is Adam Savage's concept, or at least that's where I've heard it from. The idea is that there are several orders of retrievability when it comes to tooling. In this case, if I want to grab this hammer, it's literally right there, and I just reach my hand out and grab it. It's not a difficult concept. That's first order. Everything's right at your fingertips, basically. Second order would be like, okay, I want that hammer, but it's over there on the anvil. I have to walk over there to grab it. Third order is it's in a drawer somewhere, and you have to go over and fish it out of a drawer. And then fourth order is, for me anyways, is for all the tools that you have but you almost never use. That's for the cheapy Harbor Freight stuff that you're never really going to use more than a few times, but it's too valuable to... It's more valuable to have it than it is to not have it. It's, makes things a lot easier when you do need it, the rare times you do need it. So anyways, this first order retrievability, perfect on this. The second thing, the second rule it followed for me is the 80-20 rule. It's kind of my own bastardization of the rule. In this case, 80% of your work is done with 20% of your tools. And I think if you follow the 80-20 rule to any angle that it may branch out from, I think you're going to find that's true in a lot of cases. 80% of your work gets done with 20% of your effort, and so on and so on. Anyways, in this case, it's tools. 80% of my work gets done with 20% of my tools. So I designed the cart with that in mind. I just simply wanted to keep that 20% of my tools available to me, so I could actually just grab them at a whim and go to town. A third thing that really applied to me is I really am bad about keeping table spaces clear or horizontal surfaces clear. So it had to have a very small shelf that did not allow for a lot of stuff to be piled up on it. Or at least, to the point where when things started interfering, it wouldn't be like this big project to clean it off and put everything away. In this case, I simply just needed someplace to put my wire brush. I'm really bad about slapping that down on the back end of the anvil, and it always ends up getting knocked off and falling underneath the fly press or scooting across the floor somewhere and having to go pick it up while I'm trying to keep something hot and all that stuff. So I needed a place for that little guy right there. Of course, my various twisting wrenches, all right here, various hardy tools. Some of them may make sense, some of them may not, but they do get used on occasion. My fabricated twisting wrenches, which I'm going to someday actually make a blacksmith version of these, but for now they work. And of course, my most commonly used tongs. That whole 20% thing. Got some other top tools that are useful to me. Down here, it's a great way to keep everything within arm's reach right at the anvil. I don't have to worry about where it's at. It keeps my table surfaces clear. I can keep this cleaned off and access to my vices with no problems. Overflow can go on the little cart here. All my other top tools and jigs and whatnot are in there. My extra hammers and stuff that I do use on occasion but don't use very often are all right here, and so on. Anyways, oh yeah, and I added some extra hooks for my apron and my glove and my arm guard and all that stuff. But anyways, I hope this gives you guys some ideas and inspires you to do something in your shop to make your life a little bit easier. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time.